In the 1990s, people started to worry about how a new invention, the internet, would affect people's privacy. These anxieties gave birth to a movement to combat them, the cypherpunks.
We believe in personal privacy for everybody.
Their distrust of governments and corporations made headlines. As open source code and file sharing went mainstream, the cypherpunks were looking for a peer-to-peer network, not for music or movies, but for money.
It created an entire movement and community of people who decided to dedicate their lives to working on this technology to try to build privacy-preserving technology and secure communications. And the cryptocurrency movement followed directly out of that.
The ambition was to develop a secure and irreversible payment system that didn't involve centralized banks, corporations, or governments.
Privacy issues are inherent to the financial system. If you use a financial app, they're going to have to verify your identity. If you want to operate in a fully private way, no one knows who you are, you can't do that in most parts of the world anymore if you're transacting online. It's just not possible. And so that's a big part of the motivation for cryptocurrencies is people want to be able to operate in a permissionless way.
In 2008, an email from an anonymous person or persons calling themselves Satoshi Nakamoto appeared to hold the answer to this challenge.
Satoshi Nakamoto created the world's first cryptocurrency, a digital form of money, Bitcoin.
The project took off, and despite wild swings, the value of Bitcoin has grown, as has the industry.
There are tens of thousands of cryptocurrencies now. People in the space like to call it permissionless. You don't have to get the rubber stamp of a regulator to create one.
It's been a wild ride. By the start of 2020, crypto's market capitalization had reached $250 billion. And by the end of 2021, it had swollen to $3 trillion, before falling to $828 billion by 2023. It's a volatile investment. So what's the attraction of crypto? The answer partly lies in the technology that makes cryptocurrencies work, the blockchain.
So if you want to create a cryptocurrency, you need some kind of way of making sure no one fudges with it. And so that's why cryptocurrencies use what's called a blockchain.
A blockchain is a decentralized digital ledger.
The key thing that's interesting about them is they have what are called consensus algorithms. So ways in which the different parties maintaining the blockchain agree on what is the source of truth.
A majority of users verifies each transaction on the blockchain. They all have an economic incentive to maintain trust in the network, so everyone acts honestly, because it's in their best interests. It means people can bypass central systems like banks and governments. Some would call it revolutionary. To learn more about how the Bitcoin blockchain works, click on the link.
This has a lot of political implications, of course. If you're able to transact online without worrying about government interference, then of course you're reducing the power of the government to, surveil the economy, to control people's lives. That vision, I think, is very powerful to a lot of people.
But now, many fear the cypherpunks revolution is in jeopardy.
There definitely is a lot of reflection happening in the cryptocurrency community right now. A lot of people thinking about what are the use cases that are really going to drive adoption? Where is it really going to make the biggest impact?
The answer might lie far from the financial centers of the rich world.
Nigeria is the world's second largest user of digital currencies.
Mexico-based crypto exchange Bitso is now the first crypto unicorn in Latin America.
Bitcoin's price hits new record high in Argentina.
Africa, Latin America, and parts of Asia have all seen rapid uptake of cryptocurrencies in recent years. Their stories might offer a glimpse of crypto's future.
Crypto tends to be used more in places where the alternatives are worse. So for example, if you look at parts of the world like Argentina, which has hyperinflation, doesn't have a great store of value that's cheap and inclusive for people to transact with. Crypto is and stablecoins in particular are used more often. But then other parts of the world, you might not see crypto as useful.